How long, do you know what year this house was built?
1995.
This house was built in 95?
Was it 95? Or no, it was 1970 something.
Yeah.
1973 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep, so this basically.
That's Mark. He's an OG Detroiter. This is his house now. He bought it for $1,000. I had all kinds of emotions walking through Mark's house. Part of me was like, this is your house? There's holes in the walls, and the whole back side of the house is just missing. But I was like, okay, wow. Here's somebody trying to make his life better. Mark told me he plans to fix the place up one day and then maybe rent it out. He said, a lot of people are doing that in Detroit now. There's opportunity here. People in town are buying up abandoned properties, and so are outside investors. This is something I had heard about a lot, but I'd never actually seen it up close before. A lot of Detroit, though, it's not optimism. Boy, is this place rough. But you knew that already. Just a regular neighborhood. And then all of a sudden you come to an area that's just ruined. I was in Detroit as part of a road trip in the winter of 2024. I already showed another side of Detroit, one of happy and progress and hope. You may have seen it. But this video is all about bad. Bad, bad, bad. Blight, crime, ghetto, murder, drugs, gangs, poverty, neglect, misery, and despair. You know, all the stuff you people on YouTube like. These are all houses. And now it's just ghetto in the woods. But there's a forest that's starting to grow back here amongst the trash. Crazy. I spent an entire day driving around Detroit's worst areas to see what they look like now. And since this is the top 3 murder capital of the country, you could say everything I'm about to show you is some of the worst stuff you'll ever see. So sit up straight, YouTube. So I've been driving around for probably about 10 minutes now, and I mean, as you can see, there's just entire sections of this town that are just ruined. I'm out in the middle of a street, probably a mile from downtown, and there's nobody around. It's about 8 in the morning. And as you can see, I mean, just entire stretches. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna go into the hoods now and see what I can see. Gotta watch your back out here. That was early in the morning on my first day in Detroit. I was on my way to one of the worst parts of town, but I was trying to get there before everybody got up. But on my way, I had to pull over. I came upon some side street in the middle of the neighborhood, and I was like, damn! But it turns out, by the end of the day, this would be nothing. It was just another abandoned block. Actually, by the end of the day, I just started ignoring all the side streets like this, because they were everywhere. This whole street's gone. I've been driving around for about 5 minutes, and it is just block after block of Now, if you were to ask somebody in Detroit, where's the worst side of town, you'll get a lot of different answers. There's so many to pick from. Some will say it's the west side, or the north side, or the east side, the red zone, 7 Mile, 6 Mile, Brightmoor, Highland Park. It's all the sides, and I saw every one of them that day. Where we are right now is one of the most abandoned parts of Detroit. That's the thing about this place, though. There's different shades of bad. Some neighborhoods in Detroit look normal, but they're super poor. Then you have super dangerous pockets in here where it's like a shooting gallery, but they don't look too bad. And then all over town are these halfway turns back to nature pockets. Those parts of town are the ones that stand out the most. Look at that. This entire part of town's just been abandoned. And there's just random houses still here. People holding on. I guess they're living in there. God. The section of town I'm in right now is by an actual working airport on the north end, if you can believe it. They call it the Detroit City Airport. For about 20 square blocks, it's just gone. I heard they were going to expand the airport and runway, but never did. But I think you could land a plane here if you really wanted to. I mean, look around. This is just crazy. This is all gone. This entire part of town. There is nothing left. Streets are here. There's still power poles with cameras. But all the houses are gone. There's a one-way street in here. I don't think it matters. Really? A lot of this is abandoned on purpose. They've lost so many people here now that entire streets have become wastelands. All the empty homes are ugly, and they breed crime, so the city's been knocking them down one by one. You should have seen the place 10 years ago, before they got federal grants to tear down a lot of this city. The place was really bad. They say 11% of homes in Detroit or abandoned or gone now. Somebody said Detroit's Africa with decaying Victorian homes. What? That's mean. They've torn down 20,000 houses so far, and they say they're only halfway done. Just giving it back to nature again. And at the pace people are leaving, I don't think they're ever going to rebuild any of them again. It's hard getting people to invest in this stuff. Houses are in miserable condition, and whoever buys the land has to fork up for all the years of back taxes. Nobody wants to do that. We're on the west side right now. It's about 1 o'clock on Sunday. I'm normally not out in the hoods this late in the day because there's people out. But I know some of these people. I don't think anyone's gonna mess with me, despite the fact that I'm driving this car and everybody's looking at me. This is not the car that you want to be in the hood. But I'm here. I think we're gonna get Mark to drive me around a little bit and see what's going on.
Trying to go to 94 is to the left.
No, we
To the right.
no, we know what we doing, OG.
I'm just chilling.
No, you good?
Oh, it's a blessed day, bro.
Yes, sir.
Can't see inside.
You remember Mark? I picked him up at his house on the east side of town one day. That's his house right there. That's the one he bought for $1,000. We got to talking. He's like, hey man, you want to see inside? I was like, yeah. So we went inside and he showed me all around before we took off on our hood tour. Is this your first place ever?
Yeah, it's my first place. You know, I'm 24, so I was trying to buy me something in my neighborhood. No, I bought one before, but it was on John R, bro.
Yeah.
And somebody burned it down because I was a new person living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, this, man. I'm really just trying to get it together, bro. For real. This
Yeah,
how
man.
it look, bro. You know.
Yeah, you got a stove going?
Yeah, but really, for $1,000, you can't beat it. This is really how the house would look when I bought
When
it.
you bought it, it was like this?
Yeah, it was just like this, bro. It wasn't really nothing wrong with it. But this, I gotta put the furnace hot.
His place was in shambles. I mean, missing walls and just barely standing. He told me he's going to fix it up one day. He said other people are buying houses like this for cheap too. Then after that, Mark and I drove around his old neighborhood and we talked about the decline and the changes he's seen and what the hell's going on with all the crime here. Like how dangerous, I mean, I hear I've never been here before.
Right.
I hear about how it's people shooting each other and it's fucking dangerous and it's just fucking crazy. Like, is that true? Like, how bad is it here?
Well, I can say it all depends on who you surround yourself around, you know. It's dangerous to the point if you do anything shicey to somebody or you live in the wrong way, then you can expect, you know, the wrong things to happen to you so far, you know. So people do get shot in Detroit and people steal a lot of cars for sure. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But
What could they do if you were in charge? What would you do to kind of make this place not so dangerous and make people feel welcome?
I would do. It's my guy right here. What's up? What I would do to make Detroit better, I would basically put more jobs in, and like they doing now, they fixing up all the houses, you know, getting the property value to go back up. And I would basically put the people that's from the city, I would give them first bids on everything in the city first, as in, you know, entrepreneur wise and money wise and stuff like that. This the block I grew up on for sure.
Yeah, you grew up around here, so
Yeah, this if you go straight down there, that's my high school. They built a new plant, like you know the Chrysler plant up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they built a new plant straight ahead. I actually love Detroit though, really. I actually want to get out of Detroit, of course, but I actually love it though.
Why do you want to get out of here?
I feel like at some point in the time it do blocks your, you know, your thinking and stuff like that, because it's the same people. And basically the people that I feel like stays in Detroit is the people that don't do enough to make it out. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't take care of their business enough to make it out of Detroit.
Detroit's population is about a third of what it was at its peak in the 1950s. That's when all the car makers made this one of the richest, most populous places in America. A lot of people said Detroit was the best place in America back then. And then all the jobs left. You know the story. And today, there's barely 600,000 people in Detroit. And the decline isn't slowing down. This place lost 8% more of its population in the last 5 years. I know. Back in the day, every street in Detroit was filled with nice, middle-class houses. Kids played outside. Families had cookouts in the front yard. A nice new car in every driveway. And bank accounts were fat. Here's what Detroit used to look like all over town. This is a little city called Grosse Pointe Park. It's on the edge of town, maybe 15 minutes from downtown. Their main street's thriving and safe. Nothing's falling down. Nice place. The houses in this little city are worth about $400,000 these days. It's kind of crazy that this is how things used to look in all over Detroit. You can get a feel for how things have changed here. You literally just cross over the stoplight and you go into Detroit and you can see how things have changed. This is how it looks like now. People here were the richest Americans. Now they're the poorest. Detroit has gone from the top to the bottom. In the early 70s, 2% of blacks in America were employed by the auto industry. 2 in 100. Not anymore, they aren't. It wasn't just the auto industry collapse. It was terrible leadership, corruption, racism, and rioting. It was laziness, violence, stupidity, drug use, broken families, and crime. The white and the black people are both to blame here. It's everyone's fault. Most of the people who are responsible for all this are dead or have fled the area by now. The people here now, they didn't start this, but they're continuing a long cycle that began well before they got here. So right now I'm at an abandoned mall on 8 Mile Road in the red zone. I probably shouldn't be here, but I'm here on a Sunday morning. And as you can see, the whole thing's empty. I'm gonna go drive around in some terrible neighborhoods in the red zone right now. See what I can see. Nobody's up yet, and that's good. Because I don't want any fucking bullshit. I am in an area that I definitely should not be in. Driving on 7 Mile Road in the red zone in Detroit on a Sunday morning. And the only people I see up are what looks to be women going to church or their work. And some riffraff wandering around. Okay, so right now we're in the red zone. This is probably the most famous part of Detroit. It's a section of town on the north end where the worst of the worst do their thing. I hear the cops don't even come in here at night. I shouldn't be in here, but I'm doing it for you. This part of town's gang infested, drug plagued, and overrun with squatters, druggies, and dealers and dropouts. Tragic things happen in this neighborhood. The 7 Mile Bloods run this side of town. The Vice Lords gangs, they're in here too. Don't want to mess with them. They shoot people and they deal drugs. You know what gangs do. There's more than 100 gangs in Detroit. Oh, look at this map. That's a big part of this city. And that part in the middle, that's Hamtramck and Highland Park. Those aren't even part of Detroit. Oh, there's gangs there too. Gangs on every block up here. It may not look tragic, but this is one of the most dangerous places in the whole country right here. The red zone. Looks like more people are moving out. I've had enough. I don't blame them.
They call it the red zone because of all the blood spilled on these sidewalks.
Mappy, what are you doing? You can't wear that in here. This is blood turf. You're gonna get a shot.
It's a lion's hat.
It doesn't matter.
Don't worry, I got mines.
Mappy, that's a hunting rifle. People in here have 3D printed automatic guns. Just about every block has something like this. Gone are the good old days.
It just Detroit changed, as in with the basically like, how did Detroit change? Well, from me growing up, I was born in '99, so I feel like it changed, as in, like you said, the era with the guns and everybody want to beef, and just nobody want to. I feel like nobody want to be real no more. Nobody want to actually really succeed. To be honest, they just want to fake it until they make it. That's how I feel.
Do you think Detroit's not getting better with the people, but the infrastructure is getting better?
Oh yeah, the infrastructure definitely getting better. That's how I feel.
But people's attitudes are not.
No way. No way.
So what do you got to do to change that?
I feel like people need to stay in school and basically just come together more as a group. Like, come together as a more, and don't look at everybody as a problem. Look at everybody as like, we can help each other so everybody can change and win. That's how I feel. Basically how I feel.
Yeah. And what's going on? Are they doing some house shit right now?
Yeah, they probably about to dig up. See how that look right there? They probably about to dig up that and do that right there.
Oh, like the sewers lines and everything?
Yeah.
Is that the city or is that an independent homeowner?
Oh, no, they bought that house down there. So yeah.
Oh, so they're working on their house.
Yep.
So right here we got progress going on right on your block.
Yep. He supposed to came back, man, but he never came back. He put cameras up there, he got a camera up there and all that, but he just never, bro, he ain't been here like a year and a half, bro. So I'm like, I don't know what he owns. Nice.
So who is buying these houses and fixing them up? Like individual people?
Yeah, individual people and people from out of state, people from
investors.
Yeah, basically investors, right?
And they're investing in Detroit.
Exactly, like they bought that.
Like that right there.
Yeah, they gutted all the sides off and all that.
And someone's gonna buy that.
Yeah,
and
they already bought it.
Oh, they bought it, and some people are gonna move in at some point.
Yep, you see, like, yep. Well, yeah, once they get that together, so yep. See, yeah, it was worse than this, but they got it together. Like,
so the whole, like, Detroit's getting better.
It's getting better for sure. It's just all about what you into and who you surround yourself about. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, if you roll with like thugs, you're gonna have trouble.
Yeah, it's like, of course, everybody got, you know, two sides of the family, where it's thugs and the good side of the family. You know, it's still Detroit, so. Where this house said?
And like, what? Do you remember what this was here? This building, this scene here?
That was this was liquor stores. Yep, this was liquor stores.
That was an old liquor store?
Yep.
Was it open when you were like growing up?
It was probably just shutting down when I got, because
So
I was
you
born
used to
in
buy like
99.
soda in there and shit?
Yeah. Yep.
And then somebody just went out of business and it just went to shit.
A lot of people sometimes be burning them down for the insurance money, you know, stuff like that. And some people go out of business. A lot of people go out of business. That's a nice house they fixed right there. That house didn't even look like that.
That gray one?
Yeah, that didn't look like that.
That used to be all fucked up.
That, man, these houses, like that white one too, all these used to be messed up, but they can't. I think there's out of town investors coming though to fix it. When they look like this, it's out of town investors.
And then they'll just buy it, and then a local person will buy it, and then now you have people living here again.
Exactly. So what they doing is rent out everything to everybody.
Weed's legal in Michigan. You smell weed everywhere. I think everybody in this part of town is high right now. High or in bed. I think that's all there is to do up here on a Sunday. Smoke pot and sleep. 9 o'clock and everyone's already going into the liquor store. On 7 Mile, and look at all the cameras at the McDonald's. What are you guys doing? Get in that trash. Go home. Go on home. Go and get. There were 40,000 crimes reported in Detroit last year. And that's reported. There were many, many more. Detroit's the most violent place in the country. Depending on what site you read, it's always somewhere from first to top 5 for crime of all U.S. cities. 25% of people here say they were robbed or attacked. Not since they've lived here. Last year. That's like 5 times higher than the national average. I don't think it matters how many cops you have or how much you beg the kids here to get serious and grow up. Some places just breed bad. But guess what? It's better now. Sort of. There were only 252 murders here last year. That's not even one a day. That's the fewest in Detroit since 1966. But there's also 1 million less people here than there were in 1966. You're probably wondering, how did Detroit lower its crime, Nick? Well, Project Greenlight helped. That was a very expensive multi-agency plan that began 8 years ago in 2016. There was a bunch to it. I mean, the report in summary is hundreds of pages long. But briefly, the city put in cameras all over to deter and solve crimes. They fixed their street lights. They tore down abandoned buildings. I showed you that already. And they're enforcing the law. When other democratic cities cut their police budgets, Detroit didn't. They added more cops. And they gave their veteran officers a $10,000 a year raise. And look what happens. Crime goes down. What do you know? They're doing other things here too, like enforcing curfews. And Detroit got a bunch of federal money in here to get through its backlogged court cases. Got to keep these people off the streets. Anyways, crime isn't as bad in Detroit now, and it took a lot of money to accomplish that.
It's kind of rough out here sometimes.
Why?
Cause a lot of killing, a lot of drugs and shit. I got ran over by a car and shit. I broke my feet. Yeah.
What's Detroit's biggest?
Well, downtown, since the Lions were downtown picking up and shit, the Lions brought people back together. Yeah.
It gave you pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't smoke cigarettes, eh?
I don't smoke. No.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, man. Take care. We are in Highland Park right now, which is pretty much the most dangerous place you could be in the whole state. One of the most dangerous places to be in the country. Where we are now is Highland Park. It's also well known on the internet. It's a small city that's completely surrounded by the city of Detroit. A long time ago, they decided not to let Detroit absorb them. I guess that was a good idea. But Highland Park isn't really much better in terms of crime and poverty. It too is crumbling and overgrown with brush. Old stately homes that look like the covers of scary novels. A Halloween scene, this place is. Perfect example of urban decay. The average value of a house in here is $65,000, citywide. A lot of these places were wonderful, with their big formal dining rooms and large windows. Whatever's left here now has been looted by scrappers. Many are windowless shells. Over time, city services declined. The roads crumbled. Today, the grass grows wild and the trash piles up. It all looks like a scene of a dystopian, futuristic, end-of-the-world movie, doesn't it? A lot of these people went into foreclosure years ago. Would we have been better off to just let these people stay in their houses? It might have brought more industry to the area, or helped it all recover. But they threw everyone out, and now there's no coming back from that. I guess you can't let some people off the hook when other people have to pay. And then right in this neighborhood, in Highland Park, you come to the old Henry Ford plant right here. Right in the middle of a burned out neighborhood. This is the original Ford auto assembly plant. It's also in Highland Park. I can only imagine the sad and scary things that have happened in this building since it closed. God. A lot of the old Ford auto barons lived in this part of town before the white flight into the burbs. They don't live here anymore. Detroit's a model of hardship now. 30% of Detroit lives in poverty. That's the highest in the country, but it's actually way less than it was even 10 years ago. There's been some new jobs that have come to town, and I guess a lot of people here have decided to get off their asses and find work. But not enough of them. Everything on that block's gone or half gone. But free Obamacare. Well, that's good. At least they get their health care. Well, if that ain't America for you. A lot of stuff in Highland Park is closed down for good. But not the weed place. Nope. They're still in business. Everybody's got to have their weed around here. Not open now, but they're open. Popeyes is hiring. Always hiring at Popeyes. More than half of people in Detroit that can work don't. Even with all the job gains, the place still has an 8% unemployment rate. And rent keeps going up, and food and internet are a challenge for a lot of these people. You think inflation hit you hard? And these corporations out here pay a lot of these people crummy wages. It's debatable whether or not they should keep up with rising costs, but they don't. Detroit's the neediest city. That comes from a report that measures healthcare, poverty rates, and food insecurity. Well, I can say I sure did see that. Hardly saw any grocery stores in Detroit's hoods. I saw one Aldi's, and that was it. That's the old Highland Park High School. Off in the distance is the old Henry Ford plant. I guess if you have a privileged class, you have to have an unprivileged class. Half the kids born here are to single mothers. A lot of them are hungry. Kids here struggle at home, and then they go to terrible public schools. 2 out of 3 schools in Detroit have closed. 60% of kids here can't read. Only 3/4 graduate. And 13% of Detroit kids go on to graduate from college. Detroit schools were so bad that Dan Rather came here and made a big fuss about it once. When Danny comes to town, you know shit's bad. I heard that like half of the parents in Detroit don't send their kids to public school. They send them to private school or charter schools or just out of this district into the burbs. We've all heard of Detroit Country Day School and Cranbrook. Well, these people can't afford those schools. They're like $35,000 a year. So, what do you think these kids are going to do? They hit the streets before they're even old enough to vote.
Kids these days want to feel cool and important. Where are their dads? Maybe we should do a roundup like we did in Texas and herd all the dads back into town.
Mappy, you can't say that. And stop talking about Texas. I miss it too. I talked to a lot of people on this trip, and they all told me that the only way they feel loved and appreciated is out here on the streets. You just can't even, like every time you turn a corner, it's just endless. A few weeks after I drove through Detroit, I saw this on the news. Joe Biden's given $1.7 billion to help poor people. That's it? Here we are at a time when we give damn illegals free hotel rooms and money, and we give other countries our spare change, but we're letting our own people live like this? $1.7 billion? That ain't shit. We're letting our own cities fall apart. I'm not saying that these people are out here busting their asses to make all this better. But if anyone should get a handout, it's our own damn people, right? Anyways, can Detroit recover? That's the big question everybody wants to know. Probably not to where it was before, but it's getting better. I mean, it kind of has to. Any effort here will take it from terrible and tragic to less terrible and tragic. And I do have to say, there's way more momentum here than I saw in West Virginia and a lot of the rest of Appalachia. At least they're trying to do something here. People care and they give a shit. Did I think Detroit's ghettos were these terribly dangerous no-go zones? No, not really. Sure, people die in here almost every day, but didn't really feel that dangerous when I was here. Sketchy, sad and desperate. Yeah. But mostly just empty. Do you think the cops are make it worse? The crime worse?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
How do they make it worse?
Because if you won't believe it or not, the police department it's a gang.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a gang that's going against people that's not a police, or it's a school down there. People that's not a police. So because every time why do we get scared when the police come around? Because we feel like they're gonna mess with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's gonna basically make our life. It's gonna slow our life down, because now we got to pay court fees. Now we got to do all this, but it's just extra stuff. We be having to go through because of the police. So now that's why we have a hate for the police.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, because they not doing nothing good for us. But some reason though, I don't hate the police per se, but some of them definitely be having they power trip.
So has crime in Detroit gotten worse since you were a teenager, or has it gotten better?
It's getting worse, bro.
It's getting worse?
It's getting worse because of the gun situation. Everybody wants guns, and
There's more guns on the streets.
It's a lot of, I can get you a gun right now. It's that easy to get a gun. It's not hard. People making guns now.
Like 3D printed guns.
Yeah, or they just ordering their parts off a website
and just assembling them.
That's it. Because I know people personally that does it for a business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. This is crazy.
So why is everybody getting guns?
That's a good question. Everybody get it. I feel like it's a trend.
Everybody's got to have a gun?
Yeah, it's a trend. And a lot of people, I'm not get you wrong, everybody's supposed to have a gun because of our rights. But if you're not able, or you're doing the wrong thing with it, then that's a problem. Now, if you're just protecting yourself, then that's cool. But everybody want to have guns because the trend, the music, and you probably doing the same thing. And people be beefing, People really be beefing about certain stuff. You go this way. Make it
what, they're beefing over turf and gangs and drugs?
Drugs, exactly. Money. A lot of people, you don't believe it, the biggest thing that kills is females, bro. A lot of people beef.
Should I go left or right?
Yeah, you make a left. That's a good pave down there, so I'm gonna show you when we go back there.
So females are causing more trouble because people are fighting over girls?
It's not fighting over girls, but so say a lot of these girls be like, so say if this guy messes with this girl on this side of town, and this others, females be playing both sides basically. Mm-hmm. And now you don't know that these two men are beefing, but now you know what I'm saying, you dealing with them or messing with both sides. So now it just causes it to get stronger, because when feelings involved, it make everything way worse.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people react off feelings now because of everybody, doing drugs, and that's how I feel, bro.
Man, so there's just more guns on the streets because they're easier to get.
Yeah.
And you got 13-year-olds walking around with 3D printed guns trying to act tough, and they just go off emotions, and pretty soon people are getting shot.
Basically, yeah. And this, the farms is a big part of it too.
The what?
The farms.
Okay.
Because you could look up anything, learn anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you go on YouTube. How do you make? You know what I'm saying? How do you make an AR-15? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can go get that step by step and just make it without it being any serial number. You know what I'm saying?
So people are able to get access to how to get guns, how to make guns. And then I hear social media like Twitter and Facebook, they beef on there, and that causes problems too.
Yeah, man, that's another thing. I don't know why they do it, because that's the police territory anyways. That's how a lot of stuff gets solved too, because everybody want to beef over line. And it's a look thing, bro. It's a look thing, bro. Everybody want to be tough. Everybody want to be the big, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody want to play the part. Nobody want to play the part so everybody can get, because it's just like chess. Everybody gotta play their part to win, bro. So it's like people don't want to do that, and then everybody want it fast too.
So all these people in here running around these neighborhoods with guns, why don't they get serious, get a job, and start a family?
Only reason they don't do that because it's the trend, bro. It's they glorifying it on social media to make it look cool, but in reality, off that, a lot of people be, a lot of people be, what's it called? They be boasting, like they be boosting and boasting on how they living their life or what they going through or how, you know what I'm saying? So that entice the younger generation to just fall into the cycle, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a been ever since, man, I've been so long.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody want that. They need to tear that down, bro.
They probably will, right?
Yeah, once they put the demolition sign on there.
So the city will come in and decide one day, okay, that one's coming down.
Yeah, because a lot of these old houses, and I think they be scared because some of them be having asbestos and all that stuff, stuff like that.
They're just unlivable.
Yeah, unlivable, so.
And that'll make the neighborhood better when they take shit like that down, right?
Exactly. But I can say the city doing a good job, bro, by coming in and at least trying to sell the houses. Like I said, $1,000, everybody should have a house, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, but people don't. People be thinking like it's too much work, but you gotta think about it. In a year, you probably gonna blow through, you feel me, 50, 40,000. You gonna put 10,000 into your crib just to get it livable. Basically, like, I don't know if you wanna see my crib, bro. I can show you if you want to, but it's pretty smooth, bro. It's a chill area, right? Like, it's not.
Yeah, man. I mean, I go to a lot of bad areas, and you can sense the neighborhood, whether or not I shouldn't be in there or not.
Yeah.
I've been driving around Detroit all day, and I haven't felt like in danger. I haven't felt sketch.
Yeah.
Now I know it's not, 8 at night when I'm sure that if I rode, what would it be like in here on Friday night if I rolled through here at like 11 o'clock? Would there be people outside like standing around?
Yeah, but it's because it's cold out.
Yeah.
The best
Like in the summer?
In the summer, bro, if you come through in the summer, you gonna see so many, man, what?
Would I get fucked with if I came in here at night in the summer?
No.
I wouldn't?
No. I mean, somebody did tell me, like,
because you always hear, like, don't go in there, you're gonna get shot.
it's all like, you could possibly get shot anywhere you go from a straight bullet. So it's like, but a lot of times people, this new right here, Library Street Collection.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they just built that, put that back together. You can make it right if you want to.
So most of the problems would be like if a gang were to go on another street or start some beef and be like, what the fuck, then there's trouble. But like some white dude like me rolling through at night, they're just gonna be like,
yeah, they gonna think you the police, bro.
or
especially
like I'm ordering drugs, or I'm an Uber or some food delivery.
Yeah, food delivery, yeah, basically. But it's to be honest, a lot of more white people than than move back in this area specifically. For sure.
There's white people moving in here now?
Black people?
No, there's white people. You said there's white people moving back in?
Yeah, it's a lot of, cause like the new houses you see,
yeah,
they is fixing those up. Them the people that's fixing those up and getting those right. Okay. For sure. Like.
And how do the black people feel when white people move in? Is it cool, or are they like?
I mean, they just say something, but they not gonna do nothing about it. And the only way you can do something about it is going and buy it yourself and keeping it. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to do that. They want to. Yeah.
So like they're not happy about it, but they're
not happy about it, but they can't do nothing about it because.
Like, what are they not happy about? Like, what? Like the white people are taking over the neighborhood. Like,
yeah, basically.
This is our culture, and you're gonna change it.
Yeah, that's basically really it.
It's too bad black and white people can't get along better, man.
Nah, for real. Yeah, this is a nice school, Jungleers.
What's a jungleer? Like a lion?
Yeah, like.
Why don't they just call you the lions? Like jungleers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so we just hung out with Mark, who bought that house for $1,000. And I almost went on the curb. Cool dude. And he was like, hey man, how'd I do? I was a little nervous on the interview. I'd never done that before. I was like, Mark, you talked real. You talked about Detroit, and you talked about your personal feelings about stuff. And that's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear what politicians and officials think about the problems of a city and the solutions. They want to hear about what real people think that live it, that are from here, and what they think. That's what people want to hear. And you spoke from the heart, and you were honest, and you did great. I wish Detroit had more marks. People who are positive, trying to make their lives better. That's what we need.